your local news streaming now.
We're now joined by our artist friend Ernesto Perez, who's also an art educator here in our community, here to talk to us about the Manhattan Art Program and a special show at the Five Points Museum of Contemporary Art. Welcome, Ernesto.
Thank you, Carolina.
Well, it's great to see you. We had so much fun with your fall craft.
Thank you.
And now this is kind of a winter-esque craft, but we could turn it into whatever we want. We're really focusing on the medium of found items.
Yes.
And turning that into art, inspired by Jesse Lott.
Exactly. Mr. Jesse, grew up in Houston, but he's originally from the Bayou in Louisiana. And one of the things he said was that, where he lived, he grew up, you had nothing. So you had to create something out of nothing. And he said that was basically the definition of creativity. And so a lot of the stuff that he created was from found objects that they were just laying around, how to transform and make them something new. This, of course, is new wire, but he would just walk the streets of Houston and find items, discarded items, and just convert them to beautiful art. So we're going to attempt to try and do something similar to what, he did. And that's basically just the basic idea of an armature to create a sculpture. And of course, these are supposed to resemble, human beings, but the wire can basically be used to create anything you want, anything you can imagine, incorporate maybe some fun objects around your house.
Yeah, no, I've had the privilege of interviewing Jesse years ago, right here.
Yes,
he was here in this very studio. He sadly passed away about a year ago, right?
Yes, yeah.
And his legacy will stay with us for many years to come.
Incredible, very humble human being.
An incredible person, and thinking about found items, found materials for art. Usually some people may think, oh, I can't be an artist. I can't afford expensive pastels or canvas.
Yes.
It's out of my price range. But Jesse really proves that's not the case.
Exactly. Talking to him being so humble, he never referred to himself as an artist.
Oh, wow.
He always said that he was just another human being that had the need to express himself. And finding objects to express himself was one of the mediums that he decided to do and pursue and recognize, got so many awards. And I mean, his art is just beautiful.
It's just beautiful, and I remember each time he would come to visit, he did that beautiful show with Travis Whitfield.
Yes.
I would be like, Jesse, so what do you got planned here in Victoria? And he would say, oh, I'm going to go junking. I'm going to go looking for materials.
Yes.
Because that's what he was always doing.
Yes. It wouldn't be uncommon to be in conversation with him, and he would just, kind of look sideways to some of the objects that were on the table. Would it be, I don't know, like a bottle cap or some piece of paper or metal, and then, start playing with it, bending it, and see what shapes he would come up with.
He would call them planes of reality.
Exactly,
that you can manipulate. Well, let's get our hands dirty here, or let's start crafting, and,
sure.
And we can keep reflecting on Jesse's legacy.
So I put these armatures on these bases so they would be easier to display, but all you need is basically sub-bendable craft aluminum wire. They run from gauges, but I found that the 18 gauge is probably the best one to use. The thinner the gauge, the smaller your sculpture is going to be, so the thicker, the bigger the armature you can create. And a ruler and some pliers to cut the wire. The idea is basically to use one long strand of wire and then do one cut at the end. And one of the first things to do, I know most people when they see the roll, is to expand it, and that creates a lot of kinks. So the first thing to do is kind of just unravel it. Okay. Slowly.
I hope
and be careful with your eye, because you always have that sharp point.
Yes. We don't have safety gloves on.
Exactly. So once you get it unraveled a little bit, we're going to measure 2 inches from the top. And then right at the 2-inch mark, we're going to create a kink to the left. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to measure, pardon me, 1 inch. And then downwards. This will be this part, which is the shoulder.
Let me try.
Here you go.
So 2 inches.
2 inches down.
Down. And then we turn to the right?
Yes.
To the right.
And then 1 inch.
We'll take a quick break here on Community Crossroads, and we're going to be right back, and we're going to get back to crafting. We'll be right back after.
For trusted news.
And now we're back with our craft here with Mr. Ernesto Perez, and we're working on a person, as you see here. We may not finish it all the way through, but we're having fun talking about Jesse Lott and his legacy.
Yes, one of the ideas, the purposes of MAP is, of course, to instruct kids free of charge. We provide all the materials, and now we're going to take advantage of Mr. Jesse being on exhibit at 5 Points. This is one of the first times that we have seen a lot of his artwork by the collection of Miss Ann-Harithis.
Yes.
And so we have never seen quite all these pieces together before, and it'll be one of the last times that we actually see them all together.
Before they're given to the family.
Yes.
Yes, and Miss Ann-Harithis, for our viewers that may not know, she's the founder of not only the 5 Points Museum of Contemporary Art, but also a great patroness that brought us the Art Car Parade in Houston and Victoria.
Yes.
So we're remembering her legacy and her friendship with Jesse.
Yes, it started back in the 70s, and there's a huge picture on display at the museum that you can see,
At the
and
5
that big old
Points.
smile, both of them. I mean, that continued, throughout the years until, he passed away. They both passed away. But it's a legacy of true friendship, and, how they both collaborated, both as an artist and as a collector, and how they both share ideas and how to create new things.
And that's on view at the 5 Points Museum of Contemporary Art. They're open Wednesdays through Sunday from noon to 5.
Free of charge, exactly.
So when we last left off, this is supposed to be an inch. This
Yes,
is
so
2 inches, 1
we had
inch?
2 inches from the top, then 1 inch to the shoulder, and then 2 inches down. This is going to be our arm.
Oh, I see. And then how do I turn that to the left or right?
To the front.
To the front.
Yeah, so this would be this part.
Oh, okay.
So 2 inches and then 2 inches more.
I'm kind of eyeing it now.
Yeah. And then we're going to, basically that's going to be our hand, and then basically we're just going to twist our wire.
Oh.
We're going to go back up the arm.
And this is a craft that you're going to be doing with your MAP students.
We're going to teach them the basics of how to do an armature. We're going to incorporate aluminum foil to create volume.
Oh, wow.
And then wrap the wire around it. I think, and I would like for the kids to actually bring some found objects, what they would consider trash, maybe an empty plastic bottle, some discarded, piece of material to see what they can create with it, just as Jesse would.
So I'm going to guess from this point, do I go back up here?
We're going to go back and wrap the cable around it, all the way back.
Hopefully I'm not too clumsy at this.
No, you're doing fine. Basically, we're going to wrap the wire all the way back to where we started, to the beginning of that shoulder. So it should look something like this.
Planes of reality.
So we're doing this.
Yes. All the way to the shoulder.
All the way to the neck, actually, to the beginning of the neck.
Okay. Wow, I love that. This makes me think of, what is it, contour?
Yes, exactly.
Contour drawing?
Yes.
Where you never pick up your pen.
Yes, pretty much.
Pencil.
Yeah, the idea is to continue and do one single cut at the end once we have this.
And how much does something like this cost if you don't find it in nature?
I mean, the cable is fairly inexpensive. I believe this is like a couple of dollars for the wire. Wire cutters you can get them probably at a local hardware store that's pretty cheap.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, a ruler is basic, elements that we can find. The wire, you can actually probably find a discarded piece of cable that you can unravel and create your own. That's great. There you go. Got it.
Well, I love this. I love this craft. We're gonna have to finish this off camera because we are running out of our beautiful time together.
Not a problem.
But wow, so this is what it's going to look like.
You see the shape, and then basically you just continue and do the same thing for your femur, and then like double the same width. So you have 2 inches, and then you do the feet, and then you go back, ravel, and then do the other side, go back, and then do the other arm, and then finish with the head, and you're done.
I love it, and this is borrowing from the golden ratio, right?
Yes, exactly.
That the beautiful geometric nature of our bodies.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Ernesto.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I've learned something new today.
Yes, ma'am.
And coming up, don't go anywhere. We get to take in a performance by the Trinity Episcopal Choir.
Come let us adore.